Hi, this is Julie Lubinsky, Web Manager for the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. I'd like to welcome you all to this month's live chat with Dr. Dan. He is a family therapist who also moderates Healing the Mind and Soul within our online community. And this month, our topic is on faith. And he's put up some polls, and if you could, type in your answer. If you're on the web portion, please type in your answer and hit the submit button, and that'll give us more topics to go on. And as you know, if you've been here before, Dan loves that. And we're also going to encourage you to speak up and ask questions. And we'll get the conversation started. And I'd like to introduce you all to Dr. Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Julie. I have to tell you something. One of the many reasons I have grown to love you is because you always, so far, let me put you on the hot seat to begin these discussions. And so I'm about to again. I don't hear you breathing over there, Julie.
As I put myself on mute because I ran upstairs quick and ran back to my office. So
Okay.
I'm ready.
Julie, do you consider yourself a person of faith?
Yes.
Okay. What does that mean to you?
For me, I have faith that I will always do the right thing, that I'm a good person, that I'm being guided through life by religion, but also by my friends and family around me. So I do believe in faith and being a spiritual person.
So, Julie, if I can, one of the things you said was that you have faith that you're a good person. Yes?
Yes.
That's different from believing that you're a good person.
Yes.
It feels different, doesn't it? Just in your body that it feels different.
It does. It doesn't mean that I'm confident in my decisions. I do, question my reactions or things like that. So I do second guess, faith.
Sure. For sure. It's funny you say second guess faith, Julie. We think that things are states of being, like happiness, well-being, faith, even love, These are all emotions and sensations that don't stay permanently. So, of course, faith comes and goes. But I'm struck by this thing that you said. You have faith that you're a good person. And one of the things they talk about in some forms of Buddhism, and you've heard the phrase, Julie, namaste?
Yes.
Okay, so literally that means, and I think it's Hindi, I'm not sure. But literally what that means is, I bow to the God within you. And in most religions, they talk about a divine within us. So in Buddhism, they talk about this part in us, or what they call a Buddha nature, so that there's something in there that is good, that is stable, that bears witness to storms, tsunamis in our life, that no matter what happens, there is something inside that's stable. It's almost like a rock at the bottom of an ocean. So there can be a tsunami on top, but that rock doesn't move. And there's something like that inside of us, according to Buddhist traditions. And like you said, Jewel, that faith in that goodness within, if we can have faith in that, faith, trust, you know what I mean? If we can live there in faith that it's in there, we'll have ultimately what we want, well-being. You know, a sense that where everything in us can go, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I'll get through this. I know I will, somehow. You know, that's kind of what I'm going for with faith. And I say one of the answers we got, Julie, is someone said faith is about being convinced that all will be okay. Let me see that. People and things, I don't know if this is the same person, but let me read that. Will be there when I need them, so that I have what I need. And that's not religious-based. And then I also don't know if this is a different person, but it's belief in possibility of positive outcomes, of meaning, love, that efforts can be. I guess she didn't finish that. And Julie, we've also got, let me read what Lorian Whitman said. Lorian, you said, I'm learning to let go of my expectations, to embrace the substance of my thoughts and beliefs that create my state of mind and well-being. Let me read that again. I'm learning to let go of my expectations and embrace the substance of my thoughts and beliefs that create my state of mind and well-being. It's an interesting take on faith. And somebody said, Julie, somebody said in the beginning in response to my poll that they just said they were a Christian. So I want to know where religion plays into this for you. And is, here she said, does faith have to be about religion? Do you have faith without religion? And one answer said, yes, I am a Christian. And the other one said, I do. I need to have faith to be able to go on with my paralysis. And this is what we get to. Now, what is the role of faith in helping you live the life you have, whether you have paralysis or whether you're a caregiver? I would like to have somebody call in and have a conversation with me, because I am far from an expert on faith. Julie?
I am here.
Yeah, do we have Julie's Payda? Are you on the phone, Julie?
Oh, Julieta. Yeah, Julieta, are you on the phone? Are you able to talk? Maybe she's in chat only.
I also
Julie,
want...
Sure, Julie, if you're able just to type your question in the chat box if you have one. But I'd like to know if Lorianne's on the phone as well. Is Lorianne, or a way she can talk? She has a microphone? Okay.
I also want to say...
Oh, Peter Peter spoke up.
Peter says, I can help with apologetics for Christian faith. I'm not sure I understand that, Peter. Could you clarify that for us? And I also want those listening, you came in on this topic, on this day, for a reason. There's something you wanted to hear or something you wanted to get. And please, you owe it to yourself to make sure you get it. So either, pick up the phone and call or type in your questions or your concerns. We did a show, Julie, on faith. There's a book called Faith. It was a really interesting book. It was written by a writer, and she asked, I think it was some 12, 15 of her fellow writers, each to write, a brief statement about what faith meant to them. And so Peter says, by the way, I studied whether God existed or not, and I wonder where Peter landed on that. But anyway, so we had three guests talking about faith, and one was a fellow who was a passionate atheist, but he focused on religion and the Bible, and he was almost angry about the Bible and critical and how silly it was on the literal sense. But that's not what faith is or not having faith. Atheists can be people of great faith, and vice versa. People who are quite religious yet don't necessarily have faith. So that's why I want to open up this dialogue here. So Roxanne says, I wanted to hear about others' experience with the efficacy of prayer. Well, dear Roxanne, you first. Tell us your experience with the efficacy of prayer. You start first, and then hopefully others will weigh in. So we have Lorianne on the phone, I think. Lorianne? Julie?
I'm here, Lorianne. You said you're on the phone. If you want to hit *6, see if that'll unmute or mute your line.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Lorianne.
Yes, hi.
Hi. How
How's
are you?
everyone? I'm pretty good today, thank goodness.
Where are you?
I am in Maryland.
Maryland. So let me take a guess. It's hot and muggy.
Whoa, it's 90 degrees, and I had to turn on the AC. It usually makes me achy to have it on, but it's off the chain today.
Yeah. So tell me, what's your comment or question? I want to hear about where you are in the area of faith.
Well, with faith, I'm in this place where I feel like I'm constantly having to being tested on my faith.
I'm hearing a lot of background somewhere, and I'm having difficulty hearing you.
Lorianne, is better? If your computer speaker's on, if you just want to...
Can you hear me?
If you can mute your computer, I think that's the problem.
Okay.
Lorianne, do we have you?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who do we have now? We were just talking to Lorianne, who felt she was being tested with her faith.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is Pete Wenzel here.
Oh, Pete, boy, do I want to hear from you. Let's try to get Lorianne back on the phone. Stick with us, people. We'll get right back to you, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
No problem.
Lorianne?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So last I got was your faith was being tested.
Yes, with with my my health conditions, the fact that I depend upon people at this time in my life, after being so focused on independence, it's forcing me to walk in faith on a constant basis. It's not even an option moment by moment to not have faith. But that being said, I was the one that wrote about it's going to be okay no matter what. And that's my definition of faith now, is that I remember you talking about having an accident in your chair, and, as a young person thinking that that's like the worst possible thing to happen, and it's okay. It's okay. It's being part of the human family and the human condition. So I'm enjoying that part of learning to be okay with looking a certain way or appearing a certain way that's not, sort of a juvenile sense of being okay, but sort of a mature sense of it's okay, we're all people. And it's a very lovely place to be.
Are you able to stay there, Lorianne?
I have my moments when people challenge me. They challenge my sense of I like to reciprocate. I like to do for people. I like to be there for people. And when people challenge me and they don't seem to understand my predicament or my circumstance, and they're sort of wrapped up in their own, that's happened 3 times this year to me. And I'm very got very upset each time. And I was like, I'm not going to be friends with these people anymore. And then I had to stop and think, okay, well, did you really express to them, in plain black and white that, hey, I have my limits. My intent is to do the best I can, but, I'm not going to be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Lorianne, are you telling that to yourself also?
Yes, I have. I do. I have that mind still. I still have that mind that, I want to put on that cape and go and rest.
So you're the one that's beating Lorianne up, right?
Yeah.
You're beating yourself up.
Yeah, because I won't just come out and say, no, I can't anymore, or no, I can't right now, or I just get upset.
You know what? My mentor, my teacher from when I was first learning psychotherapy, he said, the world is full of people trying to be filet mignon, and deep down we know we're meatballs. Honey, you're a meatball.
Right.
Yeah. But there's something about you just don't want to buy that, do you?
No, I don't think it's fair. This sense of fairness. It's like, why do I have to be a chicken liver and meatball, and someone gets to be filet mignon? I think it's mainly because I'm afraid that it's not enough to be a chicken liver meatball. It's not enough.
Not enough for what? Because I'm going to hold your hand right now, and you and I are going to walk back to the issue of faith, and walk back in quotes, of course. But go on, not good enough. What does that mean?
Well, for people to show up, for people to keep me as part of the family or the community or
Right.
that group.
Right. So here's the deal. I don't know about anybody else listening, but
Yeah.
I have that fear that I'm going to be too much and that people are going to leave me because I'm too much. And my experience is that's been true in my life. My wife left me, 2 women I was with at 2 different times, of course. They left me. That's my fear. So, as I age and as my body gets more demanding, this woman I'm with now, who I love and she loves me, that fear crops up. Am I too much? Or am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I worthy of love, of being loved? Am I too broken to be loved? And this is where faith comes in. Because if you can love, cultivate that. If you can cultivate kindness for this poor woman who suffers, you, and if you can cultivate kindness and compassion for others, love comes next. And if you practice that enough, kindness for yourself, for others, practice love for yourself and others, then you will experience love much more in your life. There's a great, I think St. John the Baptist, I forget who, but he said, where there is no love, put love, and there will be love. So you have the ability, right?
Yeah.
You have the ability to love more, don't you?
Yes. I think right at this second, my problem is I'm missing the forest for the trees in terms of the fear and the faith. Because as you described your experience with loss and your experience with what you have, you're actually describing what I have. I have significant losses, but I have significant gains or significant love. I have people around, but I'm constantly beating back the fear, practically all day long, I'm going to lose this person, I'm going to lose that person.
Well, listen. You say you lose the forest for the trees. So listen. What's this like right now, these last few moments, talking on the phone with me? What's it felt like in your body?
Very much relief.
Okay. So you felt a connection?
Yes.
A kindness?
Yes.
And I have actually felt affection for you.
Yes.
When we both agreed we were meatballs, different between us is, I kind of like it. Takes pressure off. You're getting used to it. But I actually feel affection for you. So while you're talking about all your suffering and your fears, and I talk about all my fears, let's not forget that what we're feeling right now is a mutual affection, kindness, and respect for one another. And that's what any of us want in life, right?
Right. Yes, that's it. That's the forest and the trees.
Okay. So here we are. We have this moment, you and I, and in this moment, we can let go and just experience the lives we have, this moment. It's not about paralysis, it's not about friends or judgments or how we look or even what kind of meat we are. All we have is what we have right now. And all I would invite you to do is to take a page from what Julie Lubinsky said at the beginning of our conversation. That there's faith, that there's something inside of her, even if she can't feel it, that is loving, that is good, and that is lovable. Yeah? I think love can bail us out a lot of things. I've got to go because I've asked other people to, to go on hold. How do you feel right now?
I feel grateful, and I feel relieved,
Yeah.
and I feel good.
Lori, and I feel grateful for you too.
Thank you.
You take care of you.
Okay. Thank you. You too, Doctor.
I sure will. I try. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So, I don't know about anybody else, but I sure enjoyed that interaction. I'd like to read what Roxanne wrote. Roxanne, I hope it's okay. Give me a sec here. Roxanne, and she wrote about prayer. She said, my experience is that prayer does not work, not in the sense of immediate gratification or miracles granted, but more as a process that increases focus, deepens understanding. And yes, upon occasion, I feel that my prayers played a part in outcomes. Some friends have scoffed and called me superstitious. On to say, I take a scientific approach to prayer. It's funny to hear those two words in one sentence. I take a scientific approach to prayer. Try it, see if it works. I guess it also helps to pray for things like understanding or acceptance to help bring peace of mind. Well, let me tell you this, Roxanne. There really is a lot of science now with prayer, with the overall contemplative sciences. But the research is not about outcomes of prayer, but the impact on those who pray. And they've studied Christian monks who are, deep in prayer, and Buddhists who are deep in meditation. And it's the same thing. Even though one is praying to or for something, and the one who is deep in meditation is not, but the healing effects on the brain are identical. You're right, it does help focus. It does help open up one's heart. And it does help increase cortisol in the brain. No, I don't mean cortisol. Oxytocin, which is called the love hormone. So it gives you a sense of well-being. So prayer does all those things, and that's science. I mean, that's science. So there. So your friends can call you superstitious, but check in with me. I'll show you the science on that. So where are we? William Leighton asked me about, I guess, all these people who left me. Did they leave you, or did you push them away? I tried to push her away right after I was first injured, and he met his wife. Well, I don't know if I tried to push him away or not. I didn't try to push my wife away. I was feeling so needy and dependent. I wasn't trying to push her away. But I was feeling unlovable and or unworthy of love. So I don't know what that does to someone. She was feeling the same way. But, we were kids when we got married. There was just too much for her. The others, I don't know. Both of them. I think it was a poor choice. You know, I was feeling pretty crazy, and I picked, you know, women who were also feeling pretty crazy. That's what we do. You know, we find people who match us. So I don't know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear what happened with your wife, and that's the critical thing. I'm sorry. The divorce rate's pretty high for people with disabilities, and you know, in marriages don't bargain for this. We don't bargain for it. We don't take it into the realm of possibilities. You know, we use those words till death do us part. You know, I don't think that could be real, literally.
What?
Roxanne said, "Am I too broken to love?" Roxanne said, nah, nobody is too broken to love. It's nobody's too broken to love. We're all born with the ability to love, to give love, to attract love. Look what babies do. No, nobody's too broken to love. The only thing we are is too scared to love, too scared to let ourselves be loved. It's always safer behind a closed heart. Love takes courage. It takes courage to risk being hurt, to risk being rejected. Love is for the domain of the courageous. So yeah, we all have the ability to love. So Roxanne says, of all forms of caution in love is perhaps the most fatal to true happiness. Bertrand Russell said that. Well, Roxanne, I want you to know that Bertrand Russell asked me what to say about love. I'm just kidding. So where are we? Yeah, Julie asked if you can call. It'd be great to have a conversation. Oh, no, you can't. Sorry. Is there anybody else on the line? Who did we have?
Yes.
William.
This is Julietta.
Oh, Julietta. Hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm new to this. I just had paralysis. It's been 2 years, so it's finally I'm getting into this and trying to cope with this and faith and love and sometimes being afraid. I try to think positive, most of the time and try to be upbeat. It's hard. Very hard.
Yeah, 2 years? You know what?
Yes, I had transverse myelitis.
Go on.
Yes, I got transverse myelitis. It just came all of a sudden, and I became paralyzed from the breast down. And, I can't use my right arm, my hand. So it's just my triceps, So, I do what I can.
It's been 2 years. Can I ask what people you have in your life?
Well, my husband is with me most of the time because I got sick at the beginning, so he's always afraid to leave me by myself or with my aide because he thinks that something could happen and he's not going to be near. And sometimes I have to tell him that he has to let go, but, he still likes to be around. He's given me a lot of support, so I'm pretty lucky at that. And I'm afraid at times, that one day he's just going to get tired, here I am not being able to do anything, and we don't have that normal life that we did because we're all so outgoing. We used to go to functions and get together, and we used to go, on travel twice a year. if we were together during the weekend, we would do things together, you know, even if we would just go for a drive, you know. We would go, I live in Florida, so sometimes we'll drive like an hour just to go and eat at some restaurant and come back just to, you know, get away.
Sure.
And I have two kids, you know, they're
How old are they?
they're in their 30s. My daughter has 2 young kids, and my son, well, he's not married, but it makes it hard because they're not, how can I put it? They're just not here when I need them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's hard, you know. So it's like, this is the only family I have here. They're my family. That's it.
So, listen, with all due respect, you know, please don't force yourself to put on a happy face if you don't feel it. And please don't beat yourself up if you get engaged in self-pity. This is all part of the natural process. You have been through enough. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to judge yourself. And of course you're afraid your husband's going to leave you. Have you spoken to him about it?
Yeah, I've talked to him, but, you know, he's always saying that I shouldn't feel that way, that, you know, he loves me. We've been married for 40 years, so,
Well,
you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, we've had our ups and downs, but like I said, you know, he's here and anything, I mean, you know, at night he's the one that takes care of me, and, you know, anything that I need, you know, he always tells me, make sure you wake me up, you know, and everything, you know, and then I get afraid too because, you know, he has high blood pressure and, you know, has sleep apnea and, you know and I'm saying, like, oh my God.
I want to share with you an experience I had years ago. I was sitting in the lobby of a hospital waiting for my van to come pick me up. And I see a woman and her little boy walking out of the cancer treatment center. And she's wearing a turban, and she looks pretty frail. So they're holding hands. The little boy's got to be about 4 years old. So they're holding hands, and they're walking towards this big revolving door. I mean, you've seen them, the big giant.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the boy turns to his mother, and he says, Mommy, I'm scared. And she says to him, you know, honey, I'm a little scared too, but we'll hold hands and go through this together. Now, that's my vision of you and your husband. Of course you're scared. Of course he's scared. How can you not be? But hopefully you'll hold hands and go through it together. You're in the early stages here. You know, you're still in the stage where your body brain is saying, what the hell just happened to me?
Right.
You're going to go through a ton of emotions. As you do, please be kind to this good woman who's done nothing wrong.
That's what I do. That's why I keep saying that faith comes hand in hand, because if you don't have faith, you just can't go on. You have to have faith in order for you to embrace yourself.
Tell us what faith means to you.
Faith means being strong, being able to walk the path, you know, per se, to love, you know.
To love.
Yes.
So tell me about faith and being strong. What does that mean?
Well, if you have faith, if you have faith, you have to have belief. And then believe and what you believe in, you know, you have to say, I can do this. I can embrace this. I have my husband that loves me. I have people in my community that care about me. Each day, I get a little stronger. I get more, how can I say, I push myself and to better myself and not to beat myself.
Yeah, please.
But I do have my days. I can't say I don't, but I know that, even if I wasn't paralyzed, we all have our days. But it tends to be more being like the way I am right now. Because you can't just get up and go like I used to. You would just go in the car or just go and take a cab or go in the bus and just go anywhere.
Your brain hasn't caught up to your body yet. So
right.
You're going to be frustrated. I remember it was 2 years or longer that when I dreamt, I still dreamt I was walking. And then when I woke up, I was depressed all over again.
Right.
And it's really physiology more than anything else. It takes that long for your brain to realize that this is all new now, and this is all different. Like you can say that to yourself, but in your wiring doesn't know that yet. So it's going to be new. You're going to have your days. It's going to be frustrating. And as a person of faith, let me just tell you what happens in my office. People will say to me often, I have no idea how I'm going to get through this. And my answer is always the same. Pay attention and you'll find out. Because you will get through it. We all do.
Yeah.
Some way, shape, or form. It might not be pretty, but we do get through it. Because we never stay right where we are at this moment. So
right.
That's kind of where faith comes in, Just open your heart, release your grip, and, just have faith that you will go through this. And wind up, if you were a happy woman 3 years ago, the chances are very high that you'll wind up back where you were 3 years ago, emotionally,
Right, yes.
So I wish that for you. And, I hope, I hope I've been helpful in some way.
Yes, it's helpful because I know that I needed to talk to someone. It's just a matter of me, I don't want to go and sit in a place and just talk, and I'm just going I really, when I go to the doctor, there's always people asking me questions, and it doesn't bother me. I tell them what happens and I explain it, and because people sometimes, they are like, oh, I feel so bad, and I said no. I'm not saying that it's easy.
Well,
I said that I have to take it day by day.
What I want, you talk to all these people about your body. What I'm more interested in is the nature of your heart. And that's what's going to carry you from here till there, the nature of your heart. So
exactly.
You have to go. I wish you all the best, and I thank you so much for picking us to open up with.
Thank you, Dan, Dr. Dan.
Take care of you.
Thank you. God bless you.
You too. We heard from Sue Jennifer. Let me read this. Sue, I haven't had a chance to read the whole thing. She says, I have a brother who's a quad and has been for 37 years. He just lost his wife, caregiver. He's in denial that she has passed. He's now dying and cannot face that. I'm his sister, caregiving, and want to honor him and his wishes. He needs medical care but refuses, and I'm just watching him die. I'm also trying to cope and have a strong faith, but facing his death has caused me to fear. Suffering is a part of life. My emotions can be overwhelming, hard to deal with when he has not accepted reality. But don't want to hurt him as he has suffered so much. Let me say this to you, Sue. If you possibly can, approach this with your palms open. And it doesn't matter whether he has accepted reality as you define it or as you wish, but this is his choice. And sometimes, we just get tired. You know that. After all these years, we get tired. And sometimes all of us have felt this. I know I have. We want to say, it's enough. So if his conscious, intentional wish now is not to receive medical help, then you're put in this horrible, difficult position, is to be with him and love him and cry for him and cry with him and cry for you together. This is agony for you, and in many respects might be more painful for you than for him. There's an analyst from years ago said the most difficult part of love is tolerating your own helplessness in the face of a loved one suffering. And that's where you are, so. You're in a position of terrible helplessness. And here this man who you've known and loved probably your whole life or his whole life, he's giving up, and you are losing him. And the greatest gift you could give him is to love him, to hold him, and to cry with him, and not to put on a happy face, or not even to try to change him. Just be with him. Because ultimately, that's what we all want, isn't it? When we suffer, we want people who love us enough to just be with us, to love us. And what I'm asking you to do is so hard. It's so hard. And I wish I could do something or say something to make your task easier, other than the fact that my heart goes out to you, and so does my hand. And if there's anything else I or we can do, please check in on the web page, Healing the Heart and Mind. Connect with me through that web page, or send me a private email through the web page, and I'll be happy to do what I can. But as I hear your story, I feel helpless in the face of your suffering. So please take care. Please take care. I will be thinking of you.
Dr. Dan?
Yes.
Can I get in, or do we have time?
We've got a couple of minutes. Who is it?
This is Pete.
Pete, you've hung on for a long time.
Yeah, I have. But my journey was a little bit different. I had 4 unsuccessful operations on my back, and then they found a spine tumor and had that removed, and I woke up paralyzed. I initially got very angry with God and questioned his existence. So with all the time I had on my hands, I decided to look into it. And I've been studying it for the last 4 years. The study ranges from science and intelligent design, to the divinity of Christ
So
and whether that's real.
where are you now?
I'm in Atlanta.
No, I mean emotionally.
Oh, emotionally, I'm in a great spot.
And spiritually?
Excuse me? I'm sorry?
And spiritually?
Spiritually, I have had a spiritual rebirth. I had problems with faith intellectually, and so the long story short, I convinced myself that one person says it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to be to believe in God. I've also looked at quantum mechanics and how that relates to God and consciousness. So it's really been an eye-opening experience for me, and it's nothing, unfortunately, that the churches promote in any way enough. But it's mended me spiritually. In fact, people ask me the real hard question, would I do this again, or was it justified? Did it work out well? And the answer I have to say is yes.
Yeah.
I would go through it again because of the peace that I have.
Well, that's the goal. You know what? As I listen to you and all your readings and thinking and exploring, you are an explorer, young man.
Yeah, it feels like that.
You're kind of a fearless explorer.
It's been real enlightening, really have picked up some real interesting stuff, and it's been a life changer for me. My wife, the life changes that they've seen in me are definitely very real. And my family has noticed it, and so all in all, it's just been a real positive. If anybody is having trouble with their faith out there, and they question whether God is real, and they've asked that question, maybe secretly they've had doubts as I did, I'd be happy to share it with them. I've put together a PowerPoint presentation of all my work.
Well, I gotta tell you, whether it works for others or not, what counts most of all is that where you have taken yourself is a place of peace. And we have to go. I wish we had more time, but I am so very happy for you. And I wish you the best, and I hope to see you next month.
You got it. Thanks, Dr. Dan.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Julie.
Yes.
Here we are. Here we are at the end of the hour together. And you know what, Julie? I love the people you bring to my house once a month. So we'll have to figure out something exciting to do next month too.
Yeah, I am so grateful for everybody that joined us today and that spoke, because Lorianne especially just really resonated with me and really touched me, and I want to thank her for speaking up.
Me too. And it's really the story of humanity, isn't it? It's us. It's us. So I really want to thank all of you, and Julie, especially you. You're wonderful.
Thank you. So thank you for being you.
That part's easy. All right. Take care, and we'll see you next month.
Yes, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And I put a note on that this presentation is being recorded and will be available to view at christopherreeve.org/webcasts by the end of the week. And also visit christopherreeve.org/ Dr. Dan and join our online community, and you can ask him questions there, and he gets on every Wednesday and answers on our online community. So please look for the next Dr. Dan web chat. It will be on our homepage in a couple weeks, a link to register. Can't wait to see your names in my list again. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.